Good afternoon. Welcome to Channel 1 and Lunchtime News. I trust you're having a lovely day so far. We have a comprehensive bulletin lined up for you. My name is Jacky Wambiru, and remember you can interact with us on our Twitter handle at KBC Channel 1 or at Jacky Wambiru. Now to kick us off, preparations for the 9th Afri-Cities Summit set to be held in Kisumu next year is in top gear despite the COVID-19 pandemic. Devolution Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa says measures are in place to ensure the country is ready to host the mega summit scheduled for November 2021. 10,000 delegates are expected to attend the summit. Preparations for the 2021 9th Afri-Cities Summit are underway. The development coming as the country strives to flatten the COVID-19 curve that has adversely affected various sectors. A multi-agency technical committee comprising of the national and county government reporting on progress say they are on course and the country will be ready to host the November 2021 event. Devolution Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa says the pandemic slowed down preparations, but they are back on track.
From what is being developed will be the future of African cities. Coming out of this COVID-19 experience, we realize that most of our populations in the future will live in the cities. They're the same cities that are hardest hit by COVID-19, so we need to plan better to have more resilient cities, better planned cities in the future. And Kisumu City is going to be the first intermediary city to host an event such as this. So
Wamalwa says the summit would be used to showcase the devolution could work, challenging the regional economic bloc to join in the preparations.
Also bring an opportunity for us to showcase how devolution works, to look at decentralization, bringing together cities from different parts of Africa to shape the future of this continent.
Kisumu Governor Anyang' Nyong'o said that his administration was prepared to host the summit as there was ample time to ensure the event is a success.
Trial runs on how we will be conducting Afri-Cities. The first one is on the 9th of October, in a couple of days' time, when we are going to be opening an iconic social center in Kisumu, which is identical to the city of Kisumu's achievements since independence, which was run down, but we have refurbished it.
10 foreigners have been arrested in Samburu County for being in the country illegally. Samburu Central Deputy Sub-County Police Commander Abdikadir Maliche said the aliens, including 8 men and 2 women, were traveling in 2 vehicles.
10 Ethiopian and Eritrean nationals have been arrested along the Mararal Opiroi Road in Samburu County for being in the country illegally.
Well, today in the morning, our officers, while on patrol, they intercepted a suspicious driving motor vehicle, 2 motor vehicles, and upon search, they found 10 foreigners who are suspected to be Ethiopians, and they are being ferried en route to Nairobi.
Samburu Central Deputy Sub-County Police Commander Abdikadir Malicha said upon interrogations the foreigners alleged that they were destined to South Africa. The 2 Kenyan drivers who are ferrying the suspects have also been arrested and are currently detained at Mararal Police Station together with the aliens.
All of them, they are in our custody, and they don't have valid travel documents. They are legal in the country, and they'll be taken to court in the next court day. Also, the 2 drivers are arrested. Also, the 2 motor vehicles detained at the police station, and the drivers also will be taken to court the next court day.
While warning Kenyan drivers against transporting unknown foreigners, Maliacha called on Samburu residents to cooperate with the police by reporting any suspicious motor vehicle or persons to help the government fight against the vice.
The drivers of the private motor vehicles, I'm warning them that either they should stop this kind of business or we shall arrest and take them to court. Because by transporting unknown foreigners without valid document, they are even endangering the security of this country. We cannot accept that.
For Channel 1 News, I am Emily K. Bade.
Now let's move on to Embu County, where there was drama as farmers tried to stop KTDA board member and tea directors from speaking during a public participation forum by the National Assembly Committee on Delegated Legislation. The William Kamket Committee was on a tour of Embu tea growing zones for public hearing on the proposed Tea Regulation Act by Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Peter Munya.
What was supposed to be a calm public participation forum turned chaotic in Embu after tea-growing farmers tried to stop a KTDA board member and directors from addressing the congregation. It all started when a farmer presented a memorandum to the chairman of the committee, allegedly on behalf of tea farmers. Farmers who spoke endorsed the proposed regulation by CS of Agriculture Peter Munya, adding that KTDA had exploited them for long.
Nitoboe nisitoboe. Nitoboe nisitoboe. Tuera kwa siku za mwizi ni ngapi? 40. I want to say today that the 40 days of the munyanyasaji of wakulima has come to an end.
KTDA ikae pale lakini iwe moderated such that mkulima afikiwe na ile maneno yake mzuri, na KTDA sababu ni watu technical wanakuja na watu wanajua processes za majani, wakae pale na wawe regulated na serikali vizuri, ndio pesa iweze kuingilia kwa mfuko ya mkulima.
Kuna kitu nataka tutajaribu tuone.
It took the intervention of committee chair William Kamket and Maniata MP John Mushiri to calm the farmers who had vowed that KTDA board member and other directors will not speak as they are opposed to the tea regulations. They, however, had concerns with few issues like the proposal to have only 3 directors, which they said is not good.
Kwa hivyo, watu 6 wanaweza ongea, lakini 2 wataongea nini? Ni kama mimi na bibi yangu. Nikimwambia hivi tunafanya. Na tunawana ili muwe mtu awe na watoto wengi ili wakiongea kama kamati. Au na maana gani? Au amekunja hapa wakiwa wengi. Zaidi 5. Kwani wakuacha 2.
Elected leaders from the area had issues that they wished to be amended to make the proposed law all-inclusive. They urged for a collaboration between all African tree-growing countries to ensure that Kenya is not sidelined by coming up with a law that is not supported by other tree-growing nations.
Tuketi chini na waziri tumulize zile sheria zote tumetengeneza kwa sababu tuko na inji 12 zile zina kwa option Mombasa. Hata hizo nchi zingine waziri waketi chini watengeneze sheria moja.
On the regulation, the CS was told to declare the minimum guaranteed returns that the farmer would get, as it is not specified in the proposed law. Yusuf Far, Channel 1 News.
And away from that, a consortium of civil society organizations are threatening to march to Parliament to push for the dissolution of Parliament as advised by the Chief Justice. The group argues Parliament has failed to enact legislation on the 2/3 gender provision, and that by dissolving Parliament, the President will be inspiring confidence in the judiciary.
Civil society organization under the umbrella body dubbed Referendum Debate Platform has added its voice to the ongoing calls to have Parliament dissolved. The pressure groups argues the Chief Justice's adversary is fully backed by the Constitution. The group wants those of contrary opinion not to misadvise the President.
This is an affront on constitutionalism and the rule of law as exhibited by those who are in positions of power. And this has led to a very poor record in governance, resulting in impunity, corruption, and other vices. So we shouldn't look at this advisory, strictly speaking, within the confines of the issue of representation. We must also cast our net wider and know that it is this same attitude that has made it impossible for Kenya to sort out issues of corruption, for Kenya to sort out issues of impunity, and so on.
The organization says the gender question is a national issue, adding that CJ's advice could lead to chaos if misinterpreted.
Kauli wa jaji mkuu kama si kifungu cha sheria nambari 261 ambacho kinampa nguvu mingi kuhusiana na huo ushauri, tuna uhakika ya kwamba rais angeweza kusikiliza kitu chochote, ama hata wabunge hawangeweza kufanya kutilia maanani, sababu ni mara mingi wamekuwa wafanyi kuheshimu sheria ama kufuata uamuzi wote wa mahakama.
Many years Kenyans have tried to petition for action by the National Assembly and nothing has been forthcoming. And there is an advice that has been given for action. Then we should not hesitate. We should take that necessary action to see that Kenya is moving forward as per the rule of law.
At the same time, they are threatening to mobilize Kenyans to march to Parliament if President fails to resolve Parliament within 21 days. The threats coming barely a fortnight after the Law Society of Kenya issued a similar threat. The High Court has since suspended the implementation of the advisory opinion pending the hearing of a case seeking interpretation of the procedure of dissolving Parliament under Article 267, subsection 7 of the Constitution. For Channel 1 News, I'm Gladys Mungai.
That report by Gladys Mungai brings us to a break here on Channel 1 Lunchtime News. Don't go too far, we still have more here.
When the world changed, it made us go back to the simple joys and love the little things even more, like serving up your best, eating together, and sharing more. Now, we'll take nothing for granted and always remember to taste the simple joys. Coca-Cola. Taste the simple joys.
Tonight on KBC Channel 1.
On my way home, I passed by the smashed van. Well, it's still there, but I didn't see any guy in it.
That means he's still alive. And I'm sure he's looking for us. We can't stay here any minute longer. We have to go.
In Love with Ramon.
Clouds we saw over Iceland and nothing compared to what's going to happen next.
Firefighters are attempting to contain the inferno.
You really need to start evacuating as much as possible. Of Wyoming? Of North America?
Super Eruption. This weekend on KBC Channel 1. On KBC Channel 1.
Anaambie vipi walikuwa kutuma unaonana naye deputy governor?
Ndio, deputy governor mimi nilimuona. Wataka kulipwa pesa ngapi?
Boss, kulingana na vile niko na shida, kwa naomba pesa yote utakayoiona itanifaa unilipe hiyo.
Nakuona. Jamani, hiyo sauti sinanifanya najisikia niko mbingu ya 7.
On the next episode.
Welcome back. Now moving on, Wiper Party has launched mass registration of members in Kajiado County. Wiper NEC member Peter Musei says the Wiper Party will not play second fiddle to any political party despite any future political pact with other parties. Elsewhere, Machakos Catholic Bishop Reverend Norman Kingdom has called on the government to concentrate on how schools will reopen instead of taking the country to election mode.
Wiper. Aware that Kajiado County has over 400,000 registered voters, the Wiper Party has launched mass member registration in Ma-dominated county. Wiper NEC member Peter Musei says the party will be fielding candidates in all elective positions in Kajiado County come 2022.
We have been escorting them many times, and especially when it comes to the governor,
and especially the governor position. But this time round, we must have a governor from a Wiper party from Kajiado County. We are so determined, we have the will, we have the zeal, and we are determined to ensure that Wiper plans and wins the governorship slot in Kajiado County.
The Wiper Party Kajiado County Coordinator Jason Parantai said the party will move from village to village to recruit members. Meanwhile, Machakos Catholic Bishop, retired Reverend Norman Kingdom, has called on the government to concentrate on children getting back to school instead of taking the country to election mood.
The school opening, it's very difficult. But at the same time, it may be for the advantage of the pupils. They've been home for a long time, and we are also aware they're having lots of problems. Kwa hivyo kama wanarudi shule, nafikiria ingekuwa heri. Hayo ni maoni yangu.
The Machakos Bishop was speaking after ordination ceremony of 14 priests and deacons held at Machakos Cathedral. Kevin Washira, Channel 1 News.
Well, now moving on, let's cross over to Serena Hotel where matters surrounding the Huduma number are being discussed. Let's listen in.
In the world to fail in their mandate to check on government. ODM is failing terribly as an opposition party. We shall not, as members of parliament, fail in our duty to point out and speak out against looting of the very resources that we have been mandated by the people to oversight and superintend on their behalf. To them, we say we shall no longer be quiet as they impoverish ordinary, hard-working and well-meaning Kenyans, as they drive millions out of job and make the life way more harder for business people through outright theft. There is increased speed to steal and pocket taxpayers' money through projects that are not urgent and do not have an impact on the livelihoods and empowerment of ordinary Kenyans who are suffering from a battered economy. Indeed, our priority at the moment should be coming up with robust economic recovery programs and strategies and not rushing to implement unnecessary projects. We would like to ask the following from the Minister of Interior and the National Intelligence Service, NIS. 1. What is so urgent?
All that is a section of legislators calling for the need to come up with measures so as to revive the economy. Now, moving on, the Kenya Forest Service is working with communities adjacent to forests in supplementing efforts of the government towards sustainable forest conservation. KFS Nairobi Head of Conservancy Francis Kariuki called on residents neighboring Ngong Road Forest and Ngong Hills Forest to support the ongoing efforts by the government to reclaim grabbed Ngong forest land. Well, that report, we shall bring it to you in a moment. Now, still on the same, senior government officials and politicians in the current and previous regime stand to lose hundreds of acres that they illegally acquired in the troubled area of Ngati, Naivasha. These serving and retired officers allegedly used their influence and offices to acquire the land in Maela, an area that has recorded bloody land clashes for years.
The construction of Kiambu and Waka Water and Sewerage Water Project at the border of Gatundu North, Githunguri and Lari constituency in Kiambu County is unlikely to take off after locals rejected the proposal. The government has been planning to construct the Kiambu and Waka Water and Sewerage works to boost water supply to over 80,000 residents in the Kiambu and Waka areas at a cost of 1.3 billion shillings. Mugumowini village residents, where the main project is designed to be constructed, said they will at no cost allow the government to use their land to put up the project and should seek an alternative site for the project.
Well, we do apologize for that. On a separate matter, the Council of Governors has called on the Ministry of Health to support counties with COVID-19 testing kits as schools prepare to reopen. Council of Governors Chair Wycliffe Oparanya said early childhood and development education learners shall reopen 1 month after the reopening of the primary and secondary schools to allow for time to monitor the rate of infection and management of the pandemic at county level.
The governors who held a meeting in Kakamega to review the guidelines on the reopening of early childhood and development, education and vocational training centers discussed on the need to enhance preparedness of county governments to undertake random testing of COVID-19 on ECDE children. The governors called on the Ministry of Health to support counties with testing kits ahead of schools reopening.
All ECDs shall reopen 1 month after the reopening of the primary and secondary schools to allow time to monitor the rate of infection and management of pandemic at the county level.
In the meantime, Uasin Gishu Deputy Governor Daniel Chemno has called on politicians to stop holding political gatherings, noting that these will end up increasing COVID-19 cases as the health guidelines are not adhered to in the meetings. Speaking when he attended Pastors Fellowship in Eldoret, Chemno said politicians should lead by example for Kenyans to win against COVID-19.
We are urging the head of state to declare all political gatherings suspended. We should not, at any given time, encourage the gathering of public, especially senior politicians.
Elsewhere, residents living in informal settlements in Jomvu sub-county of Mombasa have been encouraged to follow the national and county government's health guidelines relating to fighting against COVID-19 pandemic. Mikindani, member of County Assembly Juma Renson Thoya, who was in Aldina informal settlement to launch a multifaceted project dubbed Clean Water Tank, said everyone must follow coronavirus advisories in order to speed up the flattening of the COVID-19 curve.
Kwa sasa kumeanza kuwa na kwamba kila mmoja ameachiliwa anafuata shughuli zake, lakini si vizuri tena kwamba namba zinaenda chini alafu tuamke tena tumerudi pale mahali tuko. Mradi tumefungulia kina mama, tunajua jamii itapata maji na tunajua wakina mama nao akaunti zao zitaanza kuingia hela. Ni kwamba tumewawezesha katika hali ya kiuchumi.
Beatrice Getonyenge-Tich, Channel 1 News.
Allow me excuse me. So now moving on, residents of Mugumowini village, Kiambu County have rejected the construction of the 1.3 billion shillings Kiambu and Ruaka water and sewerage project aimed to boost water supply to over 80,000 residents in the area. The residents claimed they will at no cost allow the government to use their land to put up a project. They said that it will not benefit them.
The construction of Kiambu and Ruaka water and sewerage water project at the border of Gatundu North, Githunguri and Lari constituency in Kiambu County is unlikely to take off after locals rejected the proposal. The government has been planning to construct the Kiambu and Ruaka water and sewerage works to boost water supply to over 80,000 residents in the Kiambu and Ruaka areas at a cost of 1.3 billion shillings. Mugumowini village residents, where the main project is designed to be constructed, said they will at no cost allow the government to use their land to put up the project and should seek an alternative site for the project.
Hatutaki wapeleke msituni. Mungu ametupea bahari mzuri. Huko hata kulikuwa kumejengwa maji, watu wa huko wanalima na hiyo maji. Tena hata wakiona hakuna maji hapa, wakipiga dofoli, tunaita dofoli, si natoa maji. Sasa hapa sijui wanatuonea nini.
Nataki hii mambo. Sasa tumeidentify mahali maji inaweza tolewa kwa msitu. Ndio hata ifaidi watu wengi. Ili yote ya Nyanduma mpaka Komudhai mpaka Githunguri. Na huko ndio tunataka maji itolewe. Sasa
And in the sports world, world 5,000 meter champion Helen Obiri braved stiff opposition to win the wholly contested 3,000 race as Kenyans swept the podium in Doha meet, which concluded the series of the 2020 Diamond League. Meanwhile, Olympic 1,500 meter champion Faith Kipyegon ended the season in an incredible fashion, winning the women's 800 meters.
Helen Obiri, Beatrice Chepkoech, Agnes Tirop and Margaret Chelimo led the pack with 2 laps to go.
Struggle a little bit now, but it's going to be Helen Obiri. I can't see anybody catching at this point. They're all working hard here down the home straight, but Obiri's got enough, and she's just starting to tie up a little bit.
Obiri sprinted home, clocking 8 minutes, 22.4 seconds, a world-leading time in a race that saw 7 women dip under 8 minutes and 27 seconds, the first time in history. 2015 World Cross Country champion Agnes Tirop came in second, ahead of World 3,000 meter steeplechase champion Beatrice Chepkoech, who settled for that position. Olympic 1,500 meters champion Faith Kipyegon ended the 2020 Diamond League season in an incredible fashion, winning the women's 800 meters.
But Kipyegon, let's keep an eye on the clock here. Well, 1:57.69. It's the fastest time in the world this year.
Spain's Esther Guerrero and Andel Tracy came in second and third respectively. In the men's 800 meters, Ferguson Rotich emerged victorious in a season's best time of 1 minute 44.17 seconds to upset world 1,500 meters champion Timothy Cheruiyot, who did not make it to the podium.
It's just got enough in the back there. Rotich comes through 1:44.17. Elliot Giles.
Elliot Gills and Wycliffe Kinyamal completed the podium dash. Karanja David for Channel 1 Sports.
Now, Ole Gunnar wants more goals from his Manchester United midfield and defence to take the pressure off Marcus Rashford, now Anthony Martial and Mason Greenwood. Meanwhile, Brighton will host Manchester United in one of the 4 English Premier League matches on card. Well, that brings us to the end of our bulletin this afternoon. Thank you so much for keeping it at Channel 1 Lunchtime News. My name is Jacky Wambiru. Our sign language interpreter was Byron Abuli. Enjoy the rest of the day.